Hello, welcome to another DIY digital training. This is David Baer from Baer on Marketing. And in this training, I'm going to be talking a little bit about email list building and how to be effective at generating more leads when you're using other people's content. So one of the biggest challenges, the biggest tricks in building out an online business and online presence is the need for content to get out there to the public and get it in front of people's faces, and then get them to click over to that content, want to consume that content, and then have them say, hey, I like this so much that I want to keep going with it, right? So you need a call to action at the end of your blog post, for example, right? So a big problem with this whole scenario is who has time to do their own blogging, create all this content. And while it is important to have your own content, and I'm creating my own content on a weekly basis to sort of put fish lines out there and try to reel in some interest from the various places that I'm casting out those lines, to use a fishing analogy, and I know nothing about fishing. But the idea here is that you can also leverage other content that you didn't create, and you can do it legally, and you can do it really effectively by basically capitalizing on or piggybacking on the fact that there is really great content out there, and if you share it, and you share it the right way, you can start attracting attention to your stuff, even though that general content isn't yours. So if you're a little confused about what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you some examples right now. Let's jump over. Let me just get back over to the right window here. I'm going to share my screen and jump over to Facebook. Okay, so here we are on Facebook, and here's a post from a page called Old Car Nuts, and they have posted an article called 10 collectible classic muscle cars you can afford. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. This is something that was shared on Facebook, and here it is. It's from Car and Driver's website, Car and Driver magazine, and you might read through this and be sort of interested. And as I go up to exit the page, there's this pop-up here. And in this case, this isn't a list building pop-up, but it certainly could be. But it's a call to action that has actually nothing to do with this website, because what's happened here is that the person who ran that traffic from Facebook right over here has actually sent us to a page where this Car and Driver magazine article is actually underneath this that pop-up that showed up. Okay, so this is how you drive traffic to something that people are, some other content that somebody's created here, and then you put your own stuff there on the page. So that pop-up that we saw for the car financing was a superimposed over somebody else's content, basically. All right, I'm going to close this one out. Close that out, and I'm going to show you another example of this. So in this scenario, let's see, I'm actually going to go over to my Wishloop account. So Wishloop is a tool that I use, and it allows you to build out welcome mats. That's what this amplify thing is. Little pop-ups and engagements. That's what you just saw there on the on that example from Car and Driver. Full capture pages, and then the ability to share this stuff on social media. And so I'm going to go to an example. Let's go back over to that page that we were just on, actually. An example. So these are my friends over at 22 Social, and I am promoting something for them. So this is an example of their blog post. Josh over at 22 Social wrote this blog post, 8 neuromarketing strategies for every Facebook marketing campaign, right? And here you go. So I'm scrolling through this, but you may have noticed there's this pop-up over here. launch your online business in 30 days. This is actually my pop-up. It's actually using their imagery. It matches the imagery on this page, but it's my pop-up because I am an affiliate for them and I'm promoting this particular activity, the speed to launch thing right here. And so when you click on this and then you signed up for the thing that I'm promoting here, you actually become a customer of mine, as in I'm the referring affiliate. So that's another example of how this works. And I can just close that out and then visit the rest of the page without having any hit the pop up there if I want. Okay, let's close this page and we'll look at another. So here's an article over at Huffington Post that I have put something on as well. Okay, feeling stuck, how to gain momentum. And here you see there's an example of me down here with another call to action. Let's go change that out again. So Business Insider campaign. All right, here's another one. So I don't know what we're going to find here. Built this a few weeks ago. An entrepreneur shares. Okay, so here's want to cure to bright shiny object syndrome. Yes, I want my checklist. This is my call to action. I put this here on this page. I can close it out and I can go back to the page, right, and just continue reading what I came over to read, or I could have taken advantage of that pop-up and gone off to read or download the offer that was there. Okay, so those are examples of just pop-ups without an opt-in. But I'm going to show you an opt-in offer now. So let's say I want to share something on Facebook like this, or I want to share it on Twitter or on Pinterest, and have people go over to these pages and then have my pop-up, my opt-in, show up there, right? So I can use this very same tool to do that. And so let me show you how I've done that. I have these welcome mats, these greeting mats that I've built out, and here's some of them. In this case, let's go ahead and use, I don't know, my list building mistakes one. So let's see if I can show it to you first. So let's go ahead and go into that, and we'll take a look at it. Okay, I think I can preview it here. So let's see if I can just preview what it looks like. All right, so here it is on a page. I guess I don't know why that showed up, but hopefully it's going to show up here on this page. Actually, I have it delayed for like 25 seconds. So let's go and change that just so that we don't have to wait as long each time. Let's just change this to 5 seconds. All right, and we'll go ahead and save that. And let's see what we get. There we go. Okay, so this is what would pop up after 5 seconds on a page. These shocking mistakes could totally destroy your email marketing campaign. And then you can opt in right here to get this list building mistakes guide that I have to offer people. All right, so that's just a preview. Let's now go back. All right, so I've saved that at 5 seconds. Let's go back and find some articles that I might want to share, and then have this superimposed over those pages. So one place that I love doing this is a site called BuzzSumo, and I've gone over to BuzzSumo and actually opened up a few different articles that I thought might be worth sharing, right? So here's one, 12 of the best email marketing examples you've ever seen. It's gotten 3.7 thousand shares on Facebook and a total of 5.4 thousand shares all over social media. So this is something that, and it's brand new. It looks like it's reasonably new. Yeah, April 22nd, 2016. So just a month, a little over a month ago is when this came out. So I want to share that. So I've actually already opened it here in another screen, and I like this. I have right here in my browser a little I don't know what we call this thing, a little shortcut to a tool called SpeedLeads, which you may remember is this tool. Oops, excuse me, this tool that we were looking at before over in Wishloop. So I'm going to go back over here and just click on my SpeedLeads, and it's checking to see if this is a website that I can superimpose something over. And I'm going to just call this 12 best, I forget what it was, email examples. That may not be exactly what the, and then I'm going to say this was from HubSpot. And I have the ability to have a little pop-up box, and I think you saw an example of that earlier. But in this case, I want my my welcome mat, my conversion mat from my list building mistakes conversion. Now I could schedule this if I want. I can tick that box and schedule it for a specific time, or I can choose not to. And then I have domains that I can choose to use. So in this case, I'm going to use. Let's just go ahead and use the default one, and I'll hit save. And there you go. Now I have this saved over in my Wishloop campaign. Let's open it up. And remember, I set this to 5 seconds. So I should have the page load. And then as somebody is starting to read through this, eventually 5 seconds goes by and my offer drops in. And then they could decide to opt in for this offer, right? It's a relevant offer, list building, and they were just reading about email marketing, or they could just decide to close this, right? So what I'm doing is I'm targeting people who are interested in a topic, and then I'm putting a relevant offer directly in front of them that is related to the subject matter of this article. 100% legal and incredibly effective and highly, highly targeted. So you can see how that works. Let's do one other example. Let's see. I found another article here from Copyblogger, 5 innovative email marketing tips that drive readers to action. Right. And so again, I'm just going to click on the SpeedLeads. What I should have done, actually, let's go ahead and cancel that so I can highlight that. That's much easier. Okay. Now I can plug in the name of it right here. There we go. I just pasted it. Click on my conversion mat, and then again, I'm going to do my list building mistakes. Now, if this one, I wanted to schedule it out, I could actually go in here, choose a specific place where I want it to land, the frequency that I want, all of that, and then schedule it to go out. This guy, I'm going to skip the scheduling, and I'll go ahead and save it again. And there you go. So now I have 2 done. We did the HubSpot and we did the Copyblogger. Copyblogger page loads, and in 5 seconds, you get this welcome mat that superimposes over it, and then people can opt in, or they can say, no, I'm not interested, and just close it up and go along their merry way. So that is how simple it is to go ahead and set this all up, and then start sharing these various pages on your social media and on various sites that you might find you're going to be lending value. So what do I mean by that? So you can obviously share these things in your own social media accounts, and I actually do that. So if you go over to, let's jump over to my Twitter account, and we'll take a look at how this stuff is being shared through my Twitter account. Okay, so here we are on Twitter on my account, and I have a number of different things. Oops, it looks like I need to delete that one. Yep, delete that tweet. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can find an example of one of these that I have shared. All right, here is likely one that I've shared. So I'm going to, how to craft headlines that draw people to your content. So I'm going to go ahead and click that link. And this is bringing me over to this article here on Social Media Examiner. And what happens down here? It says, want a proven formula for creating profitable content? And then I can go ahead and click there. And it brings me over to, actually it brings me over to something that I've already tested. So this content checklist program that I offer as well. So people can opt in for this. This is on the thank you page because I've already opted in, so that's why we're seeing that. But you can see how my stuff superimposed over the Social Media Examiner site. All right, and their stuff is popping up there too. How effective that can be in driving traffic to my stuff. Let's see. Here's another one: 40 tips, tricks, and tactics for mastering content creation. Okay, so that's another one of my content offer. Let's see if I can find any others here that might. Let's see. In marketing, I don't remember what this one is, so let's take a look. So again, okay, so here's my compelling content checklist. Again, it's the same offer that I have, and I'm gonna, you could say yes, please, and you would go over to that page, or you can say no, thank you, and then reload the page. So those are just some examples of how that stuff is being shared on my social media. But what if I wanted to, share it elsewhere? Well, one really great way might be to go find an article that you like. So let's say I really liked let's say I really like the Copy Blogger stuff, and I want to go to Copy Blogger's Facebook page, and I see that there's great value in the stuff from Copy Blogger here. So let's say that I'm really enjoying something. Let's see if I can find a good post that has had a lot of activity. So that's what I'm looking for here, and I'm just going to scroll down. Let's see if we'll scroll down a little bit further. Some of these are reasonably new, and so they haven't had a ton. All right, so let's say this is not a great example because it looks like Copy Blogger is not getting a lot of activity. Okay, here's one. So this is something that that has gotten 14 shares. This is not great. I'd rather find something that's gotten a lot more shares, but it's gotten a bunch of shares. Hasn't gotten any comments here, which is really what I was looking for, because I would be the very first comment. But if there's a discussion going on here, let's just assume. In fact, let's see if I can find a better example. So let's go. Okay, let's cancel this, and let's look at HubSpot and see if we find something better from HubSpot. And what I'm not finding, HubSpot, where? All right, we'll just have to look this up on Facebook itself. So HubSpot. Okay, so let's take a look at their page and see if there's something that has better engagement, because that's really what I'd like to say. Okay, so here we have 37 shares. They have this video, and I could. So, and then there's a bunch of comments, right? So we have not a ton. There's 14 more comments, 32 shares. So if I watched this video and I really enjoyed it, and then I could say, this is great. By the way, I really like that article of yours that talked about something similar, right? I can then refer people back to an article that I found on HubSpot in a post that is being shared. It's got 37 shares. It's got 9.3 thousand views, and I can comment, add value to the conversation here, and offer a link back to their website. But it's not going to be the HubSpot.com link. It's going to be my link with my stuff superimposed over it, right? So I will then be able to benefit from the traction that this particular post is getting, the shares that it's getting, and offer some additional thoughts on this subject matter. So let's see if there's actually a good example of how to do this. So, boy, again, these guys are not getting a ton of engagement either. So, here's let's try one more. My friends over at Post Planner, they get a bunch of stuff. So let's see if we can get some good content over at Post Planner. All right. So here are, because I'd love to do this live if I can find a good example of something that these guys have shared that's gotten a lot of traction. And where can I find something? So again, I'm looking at how many likes. They put a lot of stuff on their page. Oh, I think we just passed one here. Okay, so this is 183 shares, 411 likes, and there's 41 comments on this. Now, this is just a quote, right? Have you ever been so mad that you were calm? So I could say, I could add something to this conversation and then put a link back to one of their articles if it was relevant to this. It's not. So I don't think this is going to be a good example, but all right. Some of these things really aren't as relevant as I'd like them to be, that are getting good traction. So these are the tricks here that, I'd want to find something that is going to get the relevant attention of people who are interested in this post, that I can then send them to something that that is sort of similar, and so finding something that's relevant, that I can then find a lot of shares and likes and comments on, is really my goal here. And I think the subject of internet marketing is probably not as viral or as interesting to most people as many other subject matters. So if it was weight loss, or it was financial stuff, or it was health or something like that, those things I think would be a lot more compelling and get some more viral shares. But in this case, I'm not finding some good examples for my purposes. So I wanted to just sort of put those ideas in your head about how you could share this stuff. Let's do one more example. So here was that HubSpot article that we just did. I'm going to go back to Wishloop, and we'll grab that from SpeedLeads. 12 best emails. Okay, so here is the link. I'm going to go ahead and copy that link address. So we'll just leave that open. And what I'm going to do here is take this image, and I'm going to use a different tool of mine called Stencil. And Stencil is a way to build images that I can put onto any number of things, my blog, social media, any number of places. And so I simply took that, and I'm sharing this image via Stencil. And so right now it's pulling the image in, and I'm going to create a post that I'm going to actually put on. I think that's good, right? I'm going to put this post onto Pinterest, right? I can do a number of different things, but I have Pinterest selected here right now. Right, so the post name, you may recall, so I'm going to have to open it up again. So we'll find that here, right? Oh, here it is. Okay, well, I'll just copy this. Oops, let's see if I can actually just copy this text. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to jump back over here, and we'll add the text. All right, so 12 of the best email marketing examples you've ever seen and why they're great. And I'm just going to format this a little bit. So let's go, and that's kind of cool. I'm not sure that I love it, but for the purposes of our example here, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. All right. So 12 of the best email marketing examples. Let's change this to red, just so that we're sort of in line with the other color there. How does that? What do you think? I may want to add something else there. So I'm just going to go and see if I'll just add another little layer. Let's see what I can find here. But this, let's just give that a try. Might draw some attention, might not. I'm not sure. That may be kind of silly to put in there, but okay, yeah, I mean that's kind of cool. It draws attention to the title. What I may do is the text is just a little bit too much, so I'm gonna maybe get rid of that, because the rule of thumb that that I believe you want to make sure that you have fewer than 7 words, and I've already exceeded my 7 words here. So maybe I'll change this to 12 great email marketing examples. No. All right. 12 greatest email marketing examples. All right, so this may get a little bit more attention. Who knows? I'm not sure that I love that, so maybe I'm just going to get rid of that. Okay, 12 of the greatest email marketing examples, and then why don't I add that additional text, and why they're great, and we'll just make that smaller. Put this over here. All right, so that it's not that important, but it'll just add a little bit more context, and it might compel some more people. I'm gonna just change the line spacing in there, the line height just a little bit as well. Okay, so 12 of the greatest email marketing examples and why they're great. And I'm gonna go ahead and preview and share. And now here, all I need to do is go back over to Wishloop, and I'm going to grab that URL. We'll bring it back over here. We'll paste it in. I may have to just, I don't know if I need this or not, but I'm going to go ahead and do that anyway. And pick which Pinterest board I want to send it to. So I'm going to go ahead and send that to my Baer on Marketing Pinterest board. And there we go. All right, so I'm not going to load this onto Pinterest, and you'll see. Here we go. So here is that image. And if somebody were to click on this image, it would take them over to the HubSpot article. And then they would be here reading this article, and my thing would pop up. All right. And so that's another way to do this. And how quickly I just built all that out. It's pretty simple. So I used a couple of tools. I used both the Wishloop stuff, right? The SpeedLeads from up here. So all I did was I clicked on that, and then I went into Stencil, and I created this image pretty quickly, and then shared it over to Pinterest. And now I can start getting some traffic from Pinterest over to my opt-in, which is superimposed on top of a great article inside HubSpot. So if you're following how this is working, you don't have to be writing all that content, all those blog posts, to be able to still generate people joining your email list. As long as it's relevant, as long as it's targeted, and as long as you're not being spammy about it, as long as you're adding some value to the conversation and the context around what you're sending people to makes sense, then it's going to be a very effective strategy. So I'll add one more thing just so you're aware. When I do this, I include a disclaimer right here. It says, you will receive messages from Baer on Marketing LLC, and then I have my website. You may unsubscribe at any time. So I'm clear about the fact, where it's coming from, that they can unsubscribe and all of that. I don't want to hide that. Obviously, it's small text, because the point is not to draw too much attention to it, but I want to make sure that I include a disclaimer there as well. So that's basically the structure of all this. Let's go ahead and close that up, and we'll go back to the article. Okay. And so think about the relevant ways that you might be able to share content. Let's come back here from there we go. So we should be back here now. Is that right? I think we are. So think about some of the ways that you can be capitalizing on other content that's out there that you can get the credit for sharing, and think about ways that you might include links to these things, not just from your social media platforms, your social media accounts, but you can comment on Facebook posts, comment on blog posts, send people to these pages through forum discussions, right? Hey, I just read this great article. It may help solve your problem, and send them to the post based on that link that you've created from your Wishloop account. So I hope this has been useful. I hope that you're starting to get some ideas about how you can be strategic in using this approach to building out your list, leveraging other content, and doing it both ethically as well as doing it effectively by putting great content from other people in front of the right audience at the right time in the right place. So hope this has been useful to you. I'd love your feedback, and if you'd like details on Wishloop or SpeedLeads or Stencil, I'll make sure to include them here with this video as well. So thanks so much for spending some time with me. I'm David Baer from Baer on Marketing, and look forward to encountering you again back here online real soon.